The 1824 U.S. presidential election was unusual. It was one of 5 times in American history the person who received the most votes did not become president. What made that election particularly unusual is not only did Andrew Jackson have a much larger margin of victory in the popular vote compared to the other 4 times this has happened, he was also the only one to get the most electoral votes and still not be elected president. With the electoral votes of that election being split 4 ways between Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and William Crawford, none of the candidates had a majority. The 12th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution dictates that this means a contingent election by the House of Representatives takes place. Without getting too deep into the details of that contingent election, Henry Clay essentially convinced members of the House who supported him to vote for Adams. This worked out for Adams and Clay in the short run. Adams became the president and named Clay Secretary of State, which at the time was akin to endorsing him as a successor. Andrew Jackson got his revenge. He called the actions of Adams and Clay a corrupt bargain. He headed the newly formed Democratic Party, marketing himself as a champion of the common man, and went on to win landslide victories over Adams and Clay in the 1828 and 1832 elections, respectively. Andrew Jackson is not the hero of this story. Jackson worked against abolitionists, which helped perpetuate the institution of slavery, and pushed forward expansionist policies that put the Native American genocide into overdrive. This isn't a victory for Andrew Jackson. This is about a victory for democracy. A democratic republic can be understood as a balance of power between the public and the representatives. Skilled politicians can take power by wheeling and dealing, trading favors, and taking advantage of loopholes in the law. These politicians aren't going to make long, meaningful, lasting changes, though. In a democracy, change comes from the people. The modern-day Democratic Party is going about things backwards when they try to compromise with other representatives. Compromise just reinforces the extremely unequal balance of power that is the status quo. Polls suggest that 70% of the U.S. population is in favor of higher taxes on the wealthy. You don't need compromise to get bills passed. What you need is democracy. So here's what you do instead. You come up with a plan, sell it to the public. If you get enough people excited, you won't have to find a plan that works for representatives, because the people will find representatives who will get the plan done.